Do you see my shadow? Do you see it? I think there's a little bit behind me. See my shadow? Like when I put my arm up, I can see the shadow on the calendar. Just a little bit. See, like on the 9 and the 10 there? Can you see that? Yep. Well, why am I talking about shadows? Because it's Groundhog Day. See, today is Groundhog Day. That means the little groundhog is going to pop his head out of the ground like this. Bloop. And he's going to look for a shadow. If he can see a shadow, that means there's more winter, I believe. But we better fact check that after we read this book, because it's always good to fact check. Anyways, today is Tuesday, February 2nd. It's the second day in February, the shortest month of the year. And we are ready to rock. And look, Wednesday's tomorrow, and Thursday's day 100. You've been in school for almost 100 days. And look at some of you. You're like reading and stuff. Isn't that amazing? Like reading 100 Days Smarter on Thursday. Anyway, we're about to rock us some Groundhog Day book. So we can read about groundhogs and understand what they are and what they do. Here we go, people. Let's do this. All right. All right, here we go, Kinder Rockets. Here I am. Thank you so much, Bot. So today, we're going to read a book. Let's see here. Get us all ready to read this book. And this book is called Groundhog's Dilemma. And it's by Christine Remenar, and it's illustrated by Matt Faulkner. It's kind of a longer-ish book, but it's a great book on Groundhog's Dilemma. So, without further ado, I think we're going to read. And here, we go. Groundhog's Dilemma. "I see my shadow," Groundhog declared. Half the animals cheered, the other half groaned. The owl saying, 6 more weeks of winter. "Back to sleep. Stuck in the nest for 6 more weeks, I'll go nuts. An early spring would have been nice. Yay!" Groundhog's shoulders slumped. "I just call it like I see it," he mumbled, heading back into his den for a good long nap. Spring finally arrived and everyone came out to look for food. "We could have had fresh berries 6 weeks ago if someone hadn't seen a shadow. I liked wearing my white fur a bit longer this year. Thanks, Groundhoggy." "I only reported what I saw. Still, I appreciate it. I have some berries." "Still, I appreciate it. Have some berries." This exchange did not go unnoticed. The next morning, Squirrel stopped by for a visit. "Groundhog, my pal, want to sit with me at the ball game today? I'll share my peanuts," he said. "Really? Gee, thanks," replied Groundhog. "Anything for a friend. Maybe next February you could return the favor by making spring come early." "Well, actually, I don't control the weather. I just report it." "Think it over." That afternoon, Bear clapped a paw on Groundhog's shoulder. "How would you like to play catch after the game?" Bear offered. "I don't know. Usually you get mad because I keep dropping the ball," Groundhog said. And this is called Wiggly Field. "Well, today I'm in a good mood, and if I get 6 extra weeks of sleep next winter, I'll be in a good mood enough to teach you how to throw," Bear replied. "Really? All I do is..." Just before the game began, Sparrow called out encouragingly to Groundhog. "I'm sure we can find a position for a guy who can make spring come early." Excuse me. Groundhog opened his mouth to protest, but he looked longingly at the team warming up. "Want to play?" "Me?" "An early spring sounds good to me, Sparrow." That evening, Hare stopped by. "Groundhoggy, you do like seeing me in a pretty white coat, don't you?" "Mm-hmm." Don't you want a longer winter next year so I can wear it for 6 extra weeks?" Yeah. So you'll see your shadow on February 2nd. "Uh-huh." Over the next several months, Groundhog's social calendar was full of ball games, picnics, and bonfires. On the first frost-covered morning in late fall, a crowd gathered at Groundhog's door. I like my winter sleep. An early spring means more time for baseball. Don't forget, early spring. You know, I love my winter white groundhoggy. As he settled in for winter, Groundhog felt restless. One snowy night, he left his den looking for help. Owl, said Groundhog, I need some advice. Squirrel and Sparrow want an early spring, but Hare and Bear want a long winter. I've said yes to everyone because I want them to like me. I don't control the weather. I just predict it. Ah, to see or not to see your chateau? That is the question, asked Owl. You've got yourself into this, Groundhog. You'll have to get yourself out. But I'd appreciate it if you could make spring come early. Winter's tough on my old bones. Groundhog slunk back into his den. He spent several restless weeks mulling over his options before sinking into an uneasy sleep. February 2nd dawned, chilly and bleak. Groundhog looked up at the partly cloudy sky. He looked around at his unexpected faces. He looked down at the ground, unsure of what he saw. Do you see your shadow or not, Groundhoggy? Then the sun broke free of the clouds and shone brighter. Groundhog knew that no matter what he said, spring would come when it wanted to, and either way, someone would be angry. All he could do was tell the truth. So Groundhog took a deep breath and puffed his chest. I see my shadow, he announced. Half the animals cheered, the other half groaned. 6 more weeks of winter. Hey, I thought we were friends. Drat. Yes! Yay! We are friends. You are all my friends. So Groundhog sighed, I promised you what you wanted so you would stay friends with me. Groundhog hung his head. I'm sorry, everyone. I shouldn't have just pretended that I control the weather. I just call it like I see it. That's all. It's not because your job that we're your friends. Well, not only because of it. Groundhog looked up at them, grumpy and hungry from months of cold. I know it doesn't make what I did right, but maybe you join me for a hot chocolate and snacks, he asked. 6 weeks will go much faster with a full stomach. With some grumbling and squeezing, everyone joined Groundhog. They ate, talked, and laughed until they were stuffed and sleepy again. Back to the den. Sparrow, Groundhog said, I know you're angry, but I'd still like to play baseball with you in the spring. Sparrow smiled. We could use a good umpire, Groundhog grinned. I call it like I see it. 6 weeks later. Play ball! And that is the end of Groundhog's Dilemma. So my question for you, Kinder Rockets, is what was your favorite part? There was lots of great parts in this book, right? Like when he was eating with his friends, when he got outside to look and see his shadow. I liked also when he was talking to Owl. Here he is, all the animals are asking him about spring and if it's going to come early or if it's come late. They all wanted him to say what spring was going to happen. But you know, Groundhog, he didn't really have control over it like he said. But I think that my favorite part as I'm flipping through the pages is all the way here. My favorite part is going to be this part. When all of his friends come inside and they all eat and drink together. Some porridge or some tea, maybe some coffee. Looks like they have some pie. So my favorite part is when all the friends get together. What's your favorite part? Feel free to rewind the story, go back, and pick out what your favorite part is. And welcome to day 98. 2 more days to day 100. Can you believe it? Not 2 digits like 98. 98 has 2 digits. 100 has 1, 0, 0. So I hope you enjoy our Zero the Hero video. Can't wait to see you draw your groundhog for Groundhog Day and have fun with that maze in the morning activity. And with that, I'm a Kinder Rocket. I'm kind. I'm safe. I do my best. I'm a kind rocket. Have a great day.